Thank you for joining us on the channel's book club. The safety of Nigerian students studying abroad has been a source of major concern to parents and other stakeholders for several years. The Chairman Committee on Diaspora Affairs of Nigeria's House of Representatives, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has expressed several times the problem of Nigerian students being killed under mysterious circumstances in some countries abroad. Here's another sad one. Aisha Falode, one of Nigeria's most distinguished sports journalists, about a year ago lost her son, Toba Falode, who died in very controversial circumstances in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, after falling from a 21-story building. The Dubai authorities say it was an accident. Aisha insists it was murder, that her son, who was just 19 years old then, was pushed to his death. About a year after that gruesome death, 23-year-old Toluwalase Falode, Toba's sister, released Gift of Grace, a touching biographical book about Toba. At an event held at the Whitbaker Hotel, Ikoyi, Lagos, southwest of Nigeria, Toluwalase hosted guests as she publicly released this important book that Dele Momodu, the founder of Ovation, describes as a powerful story, a book for every family, young and old. Different people stepped up to read various aspects of the book, share memories of the late Toba, and acknowledge the immense talent of Toluwalase Falode. Tolu is a graduate of law, a freelance writer, and a blogger. She sat down with us to review her book and discuss matters related to her brother's tragic death. After a short interlude, we'll show you the interview. Please stay tuned. Tolu, thank you for joining us on the channel's book club.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Gift of Grace, a sibling bond. What's the story behind this book? I know quite a number of people know about the sad story, of your brothers passing away. But here's a book. It's very biographical from my observation, but I'm keen on knowing the story behind the book.
Gift of Grace, a sibling bond, is about a relationship between a brother and a sister. It's about my relationship with my brother who passed away, unfortunately, last year in suspicious, vicious circumstances. And it goes into explaining how I survived that experience and how my family managed not to be destroyed by a very sudden and unexpected death in our safety zone. And it also delves into, which is the inspiration behind the name Gift of Grace, my experience of grace in Christ. It goes into how I came into a relationship and revelation of Christianity. To be completely honest, I first started writing the book to help me deal with my brother's death. I found I couldn't communicate my emotions properly without words. So I started to write to help me to deal with what had happened in my family. And during the process, I had written over 100 pages or so, and I was trying to help my mom also deal with the loss she suffered, because I couldn't begin to understand her level of pain, because she had lost a son, and she had lost her only son. So I started to share some of my words with her, just to try and offer some level of comfort. And very painfully, she said, very thoughtfully, that could be in a book. And that was the first time I looked at what I was writing as a book and discovered I had written over 100 pages. And from that point in time, I started writing towards the aim of publishing a book. So during that process, the book is very raw and it's very real. I try and remain as true to myself as possible, because I wanted people to understand that this could be you, it could be me. But unfortunately, this is someone close to me. This is my brother. It could be your brother. It could be your sister that you lose unexpectedly, and it happens to so many people. So my aim in this book is to help people to understand that you are not alone, and that you can find some strength in what has happened, and there is purpose behind your pain.
Your mom, and from what you've written, you and other members of your family are very convinced your brother was murdered. but the Dubai authorities are not. Are you having any headway there? Is there anyone helping you out with regards to the investigations within Dubai?
Unfortunately, is in the hands of the Nigerian government, because unfortunately I lost my brother in Dubai, and this means that it is between government to government. He is seen as a Nigerian before you come to the point of seeing him as my brother, because it happened in Dubai. So it's a very legally involved process, and unfortunately the Nigerian government, we are at the mercy of the government because they haven't done anything they're supposed to do. And we are convinced that this was murder because a number of witnesses that were present on that day have stated to us in writing, we have it signed, we've gone through all the legal processes that we should not have had to do in the first place, just to try and give the government more than enough proof that this is a case that needs to be attended to. And I would strongly advise Nigerians using this platform as a form of communication with people that when you go abroad, please be careful, because unfortunately the Nigerian passport is not respected. And if you find yourself in a delicate and highly sensitive situation, you're unlikely to get the support you should be entitled to, which is the predicament my family finds ourselves in right now. Because the Dubai authorities have not been helpful. They've been very difficult. I explain all of this in the book because this was very much a part of the experience and pain in losing my brother and finding out that this is a life and it is not being valued. I had to go through the process of facing these authorities without having any show of support in trying to understand that this is a life, this is someone that was murdered, this is the evidence, are you not concerned? And the response we got in the silence was no. So I would strongly advise Nigerians, especially when traveling, because of my experience, to the Middle East, they do not place a value on our lives. And they do not respect us as people. Because if they did, we would not, I and my family would not be in this situation. Numerous other families had lost their relatives in that country before my brother died. My brother passed on the 15th of February last year, 2014. And between January to February 14, according to the information we were given, 4 other Nigerians had died. That is a very short period of time to lose 4 lives.
I'm going to ask you about your mom. She has seemed so strong over the last 1 year, and she's been all over the place fighting to get justice over your brother's death. How is she doing? How is she handling all this 1 year on?
Honestly, it's a day-to-day struggle. Some days are more difficult for her than others. Some days are more difficult for me than others, so we're helping each other. I thank God for her strength. She's a really strong woman. I didn't think she could survive such an experience because she was very close to my brother. My brother was very fond of our mother. And I think that I am grateful that she is able to see past what has happened and still speak about it. Because it's not easy to suffer such a humongous loss and still be able to voice and fight for justice for your son and your only son for that matter. I believe my mother is a very strong woman because this is a very painful moment for her. This is a very painful day for her. There's so many experiences her and my brother shared together that I don't have a clue about because her relationship with him was unique to my relationship with her. So I respect her. I respect my mother a lot. I think it goes without saying that Aisha Falode is a very strong, is a strong woman.
So do you plan to write some more? I think you've got some real writing skills there. I was reading it and I said to myself, underneath all the emotions, it's very good prose, very good style, very good writing skills. So do you plan to write some more? And if yes, what do you want to write?
I think writing has become part of the person I am now because it has enabled me to deal with losing my brother, who was my only blood sibling. It's a very painful process. Today was very difficult for me because he would have reached a milestone in his life that I would have loved the chance to celebrate with him, because he would have been turning 21. That is a big number in a young person's life. And unfortunately, he's not here. So writing enables me to communicate my thoughts and my emotions, also in a strange way with myself. It helps me to understand myself better and what I'm going through better. And it's an odd but I'm very grateful for the fact that I have been gifted to be able to share an experience that I hope will help other people to deal with their own losses and their own daily struggles. But yes, I will be writing more books.
You should.
Yes, I will be writing more books, probably in the region of inspirational and religious and non-fiction. I might branch into fiction. This is all very new to me. I don't know where the paper is going to take me. I'm just going to follow it as it leads.
So what's your plan for the book? Are you planning book readings, book tours? There must be a whole lot planned for that book.
Well, you can follow the book's progress online. It will be available online at konga.com from the 22nd of May, and it will also be available at Latin Adventures from the 22nd of May. You can also follow us on Facebook at Toluwalase Gift of Grace, and on Twitter at Toluwalase, and also on Instagram at Fan the Flame. And my plan for the book is there will be book readings, as you rightly mentioned, which will be taking place in June and probably July. Closer to the period, we'll release more information on that. But I hope this book will help Nigerians get a more in-depth understanding of the fact that death doesn't escape anyone.
Tolu, thank you for joining us on the Channels Book Club. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was truly a pleasure.